According to Moody's, U.S. households are paying $341 more per month for the same items purchased a year ago. And most of that is spent on essentials, groceries, and gasoline, which hit another record high this week in Oklahoma. Steve Shaw has been crunching the numbers. And Steve, is there any end in sight for Oklahomans struggling to make those ends meet?
Rich, I talked to two respected local economists, a grocery store owner and the president of a petroleum alliance that represents 1,300 individuals and companies that produce the bulk of the oil and gas in the Sooner State. And the consensus is clear.
2 years ago, when you rolled into one of these, gas was as low as 99 cents a gallon. Now, pass the Rolaids. How much you putting in there today?
Just $20.
Sticker shock.
I mean, it's just absolutely bananas right now. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like $5 was a couple years ago.
According to AAA, gas in Oklahoma this week averaged between $4.47 and $4.94 a gallon, depending on what county you're in. Nationally, Oklahoma is one of the 5 cheapest states to fill up. States in dark blue are the least expensive. Red is where you'll pay the most.
You work just to pay for gas. That's it. That's all we pay for. Work. Most of it goes to gas to get to work, and then we can eat sometimes.
Brooks Simmons is president of the Petroleum Alliance of Oklahoma. He says gas prices are the highest ever for several reasons.
The world needs petroleum, but the world is right now undersupplied when it comes to petroleum.
He says the supply is low because the global pandemic caused demand to nosedive. He also says fossil fuels like oil, gas, and coal have been in the crosshairs of the bully pulpit for too long.
There's a very long list of government policies that have been put in place, both in the United States and in Europe and over time, that are now having a dramatic impact on supply and demand. You have heard time and time again how terrible fossil fuels are. And so once those anti-fossil fuel policies get baked into governmental policy, we see the result in artificial energy scarcity.
Simmons says the Russian invasion of Ukraine 3 months ago has played a role. Russia is the second largest crude oil exporter in the world. Countries are trying to figure out ways not to use them.
We have the capability of having North American energy security. If we got our act together and had a government policy that was cohesive and pragmatic with Canada, the United States, and Mexico working together, we would be in a lot better shape when it comes to providing for our own energy security.
Prices were rising long before the war in Ukraine.
Dr. Robert Doffenbach is Senior Associate Dean for Economic Development and Impact at OU's Price College of Business. He says one solution that's not popular in today's society is to conserve energy use.
There is certainly reason for the energy industry and government to be talking about ways out of this morass, but it's not easy. It's not easy to do.
Doffenbach says oil, gas, and coal are not the boogeyman, but they do come at a cost.
Certainly, the burning of fossil fuels is clearly adding to the CO2 content of the atmosphere. No scientist that I know of would say any different. And I talked to some scientists here on campus, and they say, again, global warming is real. There aren't any big cures without huge investments. And even if you had the money to invest to reduce your CO2 emissions dramatically, does that mean China's going to reduce theirs?
No.
Does it mean India is going to reduce theirs or Russia reduce theirs? No, they've got their own objective functions. They've got their own populations they're trying to satisfy and keep in order, keep happy to some extent, at least. So it's a big international problem.
Skyrocketing fuel prices also raise the price of food. You know, there's talk in the state legislature about eliminating Oklahoma's grocery tax. Doffenbach says that's short-sighted.
Poor families have to spend a larger proportion of their budget on food than do rich families. So there are regressive implications of taxing food. I understand that. But the way to correct it is subsidies to the lower, to the people that don't have much income.
Joseph Abbo owns Public Wholesale Grocery in Oklahoma City. People who buy groceries there are given credit, which then can be redeemed for more donated food.
With our store, it's a little bit different because we can integrate, some nonprofit humanitarian side to help offset that. But when it comes to, the for-profit on selling, it has increased somewhere between, depending on the food item, 10 to 15%.
UCO Department of Economics Chairman Travis Roach says he's cautiously optimistic because he sees signs this big bowling ball of historic highs has slowed down and may be headed the other way.
I think what we'll begin to see is that prices start to either level off or fall a little bit, and that's thanks to some competition, because you're starting to see very price-sensitive consumers shopping around a bit more. And so these high prices, they're doing exactly what economists would predict. They're helping to make us be more scarce with our resources, make us think twice about some of our actions.
Dr. Roach says the fact we are seeing more items on sale in grocery stores now is an indicator things are turning the other way.